31st is the time given, and after that, it's something that's been against the agreement. All people should be removed prior to that date. They have got everything. If they wish to remove them, they can. After that, we do not allow them. It will not be allowed in our country. We will take a different stand.
Now let's speak to our political correspondent Joe Pike, who's following events in Westminster. And Joe, hearing from the Taliban and hearing from the Defence Secretary Ben Wallace this morning, it seems very unlikely this deadline is going to move. But the G7 leaders will be looking further ahead during this meeting as well.
They certainly will. I think they want a common, coordinated approach, something that we certainly didn't see in the early stages of this crisis. Remember, Boris Johnson struggled to get even a call with the President of the US, and he didn't seem to have spoken to many of his opposite numbers. That hopefully should change. And because we're talking about 7 very wealthy nations, it's certainly possible they'll be discussing other levers that could be pulled to ensure that the Taliban's version of government works well for them. So we're potentially talking about economic sanctions to ensure that they do continue to work in a positive way with the UK, US and other Western nations. Certainly, Ben Wallace, as you say, seems to be playing down expectation today about an extension, and we still do not know a lot of the key numbers. Yeah, we know that currently about 2,000 people a day are being removed from Kabul Airport by the UK military. That sort of pace could continue, or it could get a little bit quicker, but we don't know quite how many people are on each country's list of people that should be removed from the country. And of course, Mr. Wallace himself has said that there will be some people left behind. So if there was to be an extension, we don't necessarily know quite how long the UK, US and other nations would want it to be. We're talking, I think, though, about days rather than anything longer. Ultimately, it is up to Joe Biden, because the US run and control Kabul Airport, and also up to the Taliban. Of course, you've touched on their interview with Sky News, saying there'll be consequences if that deadline is not met, and today implying that they don't want people to come to the airport, they don't want Afghans to come to the airport to leave the country. Specifically, I think, if those are highly skilled Afghans, they seem more concerned about engineers and doctors leaving the country, people that they would argue, I suppose, they need to rebuild after 20 years of what they seem to term occupation. Now, that meeting Boris Johnson is chairing should last 1 hour 30 minutes. We're about a third of the way through it, and Sarah Jane, we are expecting to hear both from Boris Johnson and Joe Biden after. That's the point. I think we'll have a better idea whether there has been an extension to that 31st of August deadline, or any other agreements about how to handle the Taliban in the future.